Hey, up next on the MARR Army Rock Show. If you listen to this show, you are no stranger to Maryland band Ignite the Fire. We love these guys. We've been featuring them for years, and they've got a new single out called Unstoppable right now. And tonight, we've got Kalen and Jack with us. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, Rocky. Good to be here.
Hey, man, it's so good to talk to you guys again. Man, it's been so long, and we miss live music and seeing you guys as well. So I want to start with a big congratulations on the new tune and ask you to tell us a little bit more about maybe what the song's about and the message behind it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and thank you so much. I mean, the response so far, I mean, already a week in, it's just been incredible. So, I mean, this song, it started before what we're currently going through right now with the pandemic. And lyrically, it was really an introspective of how I was feeling, just dealing with depression and anxiety. And I wanted it to be like this one-on-one, like, it's me versus myself type of song. But as time went by, as we entered into what's currently going on in the world, it quickly started to come to us that we're like, you know what, this is definitely a song that's going to resonate with the times. It's going to resonate with a lot of people who are struggling right now, people who feel like that, they might feel hopeless, that they're kind of being, kind of pushed down a little bit because of what everything's going on, being trapped inside. And so this is definitely a song saying, hey, you know what, we're going to all get through this together. You're going to get through this, and we're going to make it out on the other side.
That's so consistent with like a lot of messages you guys have, and I'm going to get into some more of that later. But first, take me behind a little bit for folks that are curious, the nuts and bolts of this tune. Like, how did it come together? What did it look like? Did somebody bring a riff? Did somebody bring the vocals? How does that work for you guys?
So actually with this one, it started with Mark coming up with something on guitar, the main rhythm, and it was just such a jumpy, catchy riff. I mean, we've kind of gotten a little bit of remarks saying it's a little different for us. Which we're like, really? This seems pretty in tune with what we usually do, but I can understand what people are saying. I feel like this is more of a song that you are going to hear on the radio that is going to be more, I guess, listenable. So yeah, it started with an idea that Mark had, and we just started messing around with it. I started putting lyrics to it, and one day that catchy chorus just clicked. I showed it to Jack and said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And, of course, Jack, doing what he does best, took it to a new level. And we're like, you know what? This might be our single.
So for folks that wonder, where are you guys recording these days, and who's producing you, and how does that work for you guys?
We are recording in Darksville Studios with our good friend Jeremy Dove from Defending Kane.
Nice.
He is our producer, and he is honestly the best producer to work with for bands who have never worked with a producer before. He will take you to levels that you've never thought possible. He will make you consider things you maybe never thought about for your music, and he will make sure that you get to that next level.
Yeah, we are so lucky to work with someone like Jeremy. I mean, we worked with him on Trial and Triumph, Between Shadow and Solace, and now this new album that's coming out. So it's like he really understands what we're trying to do in the studio, and he helps us take it to the next level.
Man, it's so good you're working with him. They're good friends of the show. And in fact, Brandon was on the show a couple weeks ago. He's doing some cool stuff with the Veer Union now, and that's awesome that you're working with him. Hey, so I got to ask you guys this. I love your acoustic stuff. So, are you going to do an acoustic version of this song?
Well, funny you should ask that. I'm not sure if we're going to do... I mean, of course, we're going to acoustically render all of our music at some point because our music surprisingly translates very well to acoustic guitar. But there's going to be a slight surprise on this upcoming album. We have taken a previous song, Echoes, and turned it into a piano-only version. Well, I guess not piano-only because there are some symphonic strings in it. But yeah, we've kind of stripped it and turned it into something a little bit more vulnerable.
Now, I had this question further down in my list, but I'm going to ask it now because you just brought up Echoes. I know you. It's so hard. Sometimes it's hard because I know you guys so well, and I know your music so well, but Echoes was kind of special for you guys, wasn't it? Talk a little bit about what that song did for the band, as far as catapulting you, I guess I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a wow moment for us because, we always felt a special connection with the song when we were working on it, but to see that the reaction that it received, to see people really resonate with it. I mean, the amount of messages we received from people saying, I really needed this song, and hearing how people interpreted it too. I mean, we have our interpretation of the song, but it's very cool, you know, for those who were going through a breakup or someone who lost someone they loved in their life, you know, them sending those messages to us saying, you know, thank you for this song and thank you for helping us get through a dark time. But in terms of what it did for us, I mean, it definitely brought us more into the forefront. It garnered a lot of attention. I mean, the song has done and continues to do extremely well, and we just felt like, you know what, we really need to build off of that success, and that's what we did with not only with Unstoppable, but what we have coming with the new album.
I remember before we even released the song, there was somebody who wanted the first 8 notes tattooed on, I think, their wrist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this was the first time I think we'd ever played it live in that state. And as soon as we were done, they were like, what was that song? You know, Echoes, I want that tattoo. And as soon, I can't speak for the rest of the band. I know we've all had a special connection, but I think when that happened, I was like, we've got a monster here. We've got something big. We better give it good treatment and promote it, because this, like, for somebody to have that much of a connection to it, there's something special about it. And I wouldn't, you know, I'd want to treat everyone to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Did I see that even crossed over into like some Christian charts and stuff? Didn't it? Kind of got a cross genre thing going there, didn't it?
Yeah, the Upon This Rock playlist on Spotify.
And that was so interesting, because we don't label ourselves as a Christian band, but, you know, our lyrics have sort of like a spiritual element to them, a very uplifting message. So it was very interesting for us to see that happen, and we're so happy that people were able to interpret it in that sort of way. Because when it comes to us writing our music, we always want to leave our songs open to interpretation. You know, there might be a meaning behind them that we came up with, but if we can put it out to people and someone says, well, you know what, that's what this song means to me, then that just knows that we did a good thing. We're, you know, writing in the right direction.
We've made art. You know, that's the whole thing about art.
Yeah.
There's a message in the mind of the artist, and then there's a message in the mind of the viewer. You know, everybody can bring their own interpretation to what anybody makes, and I feel that especially with what we do. And I think that's kind of the beauty of not just Echoes, but everything we write, is that we always try to leave it open for enough interpretation that somebody can sort of apply what they're going through to the music that we write. And I think that's absolutely wonderful.
Now, I kind of giggled when you said we made art, because it looks like, Jack, you did some of the artwork for the single release. I did not know that about you, that you had that talent. So,
well, thank you. I've done all of the artwork for the band so far. Every album cover that we've done has been for me. Not to toot my own horn, but no, it's been a very collaborative process with every album. This time around, with the single artwork, I kind of got a lot of creative freedom with this one, because I always like to go. I look at singles, pre-album released singles, as like trailers for the music, and so that for me gives me an excuse to be like, we need to make this as epic as possible. How can we get something really, really striking? And one of the lines in the song is, your throne I'll lay to waste. And so the imagery that came to mind was a sort of post-apocalyptic, rustic-looking throne looming over this big mountain range with a big eclipse in the back. And it kind of came to me one day, and I sat down with Kaylin, drew it on a sticky note for me, said, I like where you're going with it. And then, you know, I just took that one simple sticky note and just drew the album art from there.
Now, back in March, you guys were, like a lot of bands, were getting ready, I think, to head out to the Midwest when the whole COVID thing hit. And do you have a timeline for when you think you can start playing live again, or not sure yet?
You know, the landscape is very interesting, to say the least, right now. I mean, you are starting to see socially distant shows It really came down to us saying, look, we need to figure out what we want to do for 2020, and we thought the best thing to do is focus on new music and focus on writing, moving forward. So in terms of any shows for 2020, I mean, this year's pretty much a wash. But for 2021, we have a lot of surprises. We have a lot of things that we're looking forward to, and those are show-related as well. And, we're just hoping that the landscape is a little different come next year, but only time will tell. We're excited to get back out, though. We want to start playing shows. We miss the interaction with the fans. I mean, there's a reason why we write our music, and the reason why we perform it is because the reaction we receive. You can receive a reaction online, but when you're actually playing the music and you're looking out into the crowd and you're seeing people sing along and you're seeing the smiles and you're talking to the fans afterwards, I mean, we thrive off of that. We love that, and we miss it so much.
We also really enjoy writing music.
But it's very interesting right now, and I think 2021, I mean, that's what we're gearing up for. So once things settle down, and hopefully once we're on the other side of this, we got a lot of surprises, and we're really looking forward to it.
Hey, you guys being a Maryland band, but I know you played this club. I have Small Town Titans on with you guys tonight, and we were reminiscing with a lot of bands in the last 2 weeks about the Chameleon Club in Lancaster, which has shuttered their doors, at least for now. And I know you guys probably have some memories there, because I have one of you guys there, I think. And, tell me a little bit. You guys played that place a number of times, right? Do you have any good memories from there?
The very first show we ever played at Chameleon Club was with one of my biggest all-time idols, not only as a musician, but as a person. The first show we played there was with Andrew WK when he was doing his solo tour in 2015. That was the very first time we'd ever been there, and I think it was that show where the owner of the place said they really like us and they want us to come back. And every other show we've done there, we've played with amazing bands, like Otherwise, 10 Years. It's just been an amazing time there. And when I found out that they were closing their doors due to COVID, I think that was the worst news I have received about the pandemic this year, is that such a great place with so many fond memories and a really good sound guy and lighting guy. Like, what a big loss for the music community, I love those. I love that place so much.
I mean, we consider ourselves a Baltimore band, but I mean, Lancaster really started to feel like home. I mean, anytime we had a show going through there, the amount of fan support, and it was a really pivotal.
Okay, take your seats.
Pivotal venue for us in terms of us, upcoming onto the scene. I mean, it really did feel like a second home. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what they're going to do moving forward. But, I mean, in terms of that location, I mean, that was just so many good memories.
So one of the things I really have always respected about you guys as a band is you're really methodical about, you don't just book a festival and you don't just book a tour just because you can. And, has that been kind of a trademark for you? And I guess, what are your plans now? Do you think touring's next, or are you just going to keep seeing how the world and the landscape changes?
It's funny because before all of this went down, that was definitely the mindset. We were going to tour. We had already started going into the process of setting that up. I mean, we are very selective about what we do, and that's because we want to make sure that, one, we're playing to the right audience. We want people to enjoy our music, and we just want to make sure that it's a good thing for all parties involved. So yes, I mean, touring was definitely on the schedule. I mean, what we were planning on doing out in Wisconsin and Ohio, that was going to be a taste of what we were going to do in the long term. So I mean, 2021, if the landscape clears up and everything's looking like it's going to go back to a bit of normality, I think you're definitely going to see that from us, because we know that at this point we need to take things to the next level, and we're hoping that the reception for the new album is good. I mean, the reception for Unstoppable has been great so far. I mean, we want to thank you and the MARR Army radio show for having the song. I mean, it's we're really looking forward to 2021, and I think we're ready to up our game with it.
Yeah, I agree, and I would like to add to that as well. He mentioned that everything that you guys are doing with our music is really helping. It really is. With everyone kind of sitting down and not being able to get together, which our livelihood is based on people getting together, we literally have no other way to promote ourselves other than the people who like us enough to play us on their radio stations and promote our music and our YouTube channel and things like that. So the fact that you have stuck with us for this long and are still willing to stick with us and are still willing, even in these really hard and trying times, to promote us and what we stand for and what we want to say with our music, it means the world to us. So thank you so much, Rocky.
Well, it's well earned. I mean, gosh, you guys are so talented, and you know we're big fans. I feel like I watched you guys grow up. I mean, I remember when you guys were more or less a cover band, seeing you a bunch of teenagers up there. But
you watch Steel's hairstyle change, and mine stay exactly the same.
Yeah, that's true. So, hey, one little fun thing before I let you go here, and maybe this will work out cool, or maybe it won't. So, I know 2 of the secret talents of the band, but I don't know 3. So, I know that Jack has perfect pitch and can pretty much pick any note out of the world. And what I know about Mark from an experience we had with him is that dude can name a song on 2 notes no matter what it is. Like, he can pick a song out of the air after just hearing a note sometimes. I don't know so much what Kalen and Mike and Holly's secret little super talents are. So you want to have some fun and share that with us?
Oh, jeez. I mean, you got to put me on the spot with a super talent. I'm a ginger. I mean, is that a talent? I got red hair. You know what? My talent is my ability to listen and to... No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, I'll call you on that one there, bud.
I got something in the bag to help you out if you didn't have one that I've observed, but, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Well, I think a lot of people would be surprised the amount of influence you have on the lyrics of the band. Would that be true?
That would be, yeah, that would absolutely be true.
Because, you know, you're back there behind the kit, and most people probably assume it doesn't come from there, but it does.
Yeah. You know, I think we all have a mindset in the band, and I try to convey that as best as possible. And, I mean, with this album, more ideas came into the fold, and it started to become... I mean, we've always been a group. It's always been a group effort, but I feel like with this next album, it's really going to show the individual parts from everybody. I mean, everyone's really got something on this new album. And, I mean, yes, I mean, I would consider that my talent. You know, I'm proud of that talent.
And
but you know,
then for those listening, I'm going to throw Holly's out there too, because Miss MARR picks this one up as a photographer. Is the patented backbend on stage for Holly has got to be one there.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about Holly. Holly comes from a very punk-oriented background, and I absolutely love that about her, because say what you will about punk music, a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't, and I understand why for both sides. But you have to agree, credit where credit's due, there's a lot of energy in that kind of background, and Holly brings that to the table, more so than I would say all 4 of us combined. And she's a lot of fun to watch. A lot of times you'll get a bass player and they'll just stand there the entire time, which is fine. But with Holly, you can't take your eyes off her. You can't take your eyes off her at all with how amazing she moves and how, flawlessly she can make her body do what it does. It's amazing.
I mean, if you looked up talent in the dictionary, I think there would be a picture of Holly.
Yeah.
Doing a back bend or a high kick. Yeah.
Holly, if you hear this, we love you, and stay with us forever, please.
Well, listen, man, I've had a good time talking to you guys as always. You know, full disclosure to the fans, man, we've known you guys a long time, and it's always fun interviewing both of you. So the new song is Unstoppable from Ignite the Fire out of Maryland, man. Check them out, and we're going to play a bunch of your stuff tonight, too. So, Kalen, Jack, man, it's good talking to you again.